Greetings, class. This is part 2 of the video about variance and standard deviation. I was going to do all this in one video, but the first video was already 30 minutes, so I thought I'd break it into 2 videos. I hope you watched the first video. In the first video, this is what we did here, right? We calculated the population variance and the population standard deviation for Hank Aaron's home runs. I showed you how to do it manually, and then we showed you how you can use these two Excel functions. So I want to do a very similar thing for sample variance. If you look down here at this second tab, I made some fake numbers of how much money people spend on groceries every week. 20 people randomly selected from a population of 10,000. This is called a sample. And to calculate the variance and standard deviation of these numbers, believe it or not, you don't do the exact same method as population variance. It's almost the same, but not quite. So what I'm going to do is copy this and paste it over here. Starting here. Most of the steps are the same. Number 6 is different. Instead of dividing by n, we divide by n minus 1. That's pretty much it. That's the only difference. So divide the number in part 5 by, I'm going to put it in parentheses, count minus 1. Now you might ask why. There's a mathematical reason this is different from the other one. That's all I'm going to tell you. If we were graduate students in mathematics, we could go over why it's true. Or n minus 1. That's how you see it in a formula. N means the count. Otherwise, the 7 steps are the same. The function is slightly different. Instead of var.p, it's var.s. S stands for sample. Same thing here. Instead of stdev.p, it's stdve.s. S stands for sample. So let's do it. This one shouldn't take 30 minutes. By the way, I'm not going to ask Autopilot to calculate this for us because it screwed up the population variance and standard deviation. And by the way, while that last video was rendering, I tried to get it to figure out the right answer, and I could not do it. It could not even add the 23 numbers up properly and get the right answer. That really is disappointing. Anyway, so I'm not going to ask it to do this one. So first we got to count the data, right? Count. Grab the data. Enter. I got 20 pieces of data. Well, I think I told you that up here, right? I asked 20 people, fake people, how much they spent on groceries for last week. Now calculate the mean. We've got to use that average function in Excel, right? Grab the data. $170.9. Now we need to create a column, distance from mean, right? Distance from mean. So what do? Equals, this is going to be negative. This is the person. I don't know how they only spend $32 on groceries. Maybe they eat out all the time. So take that number, subtract the mean, which is over here. But if we want to use a shortcut to fill in the rest of the column, we need to put a $sign in front of the 4. Remember? That will tell Excel the mean is not going to move down the column. It's always going to be here. It's always in row 4, right? So hit enter. So that's $138.90 below the mean. These are dollars, right? Now to do the rest, we can do that shortcut. Hover over this little bottom right square until you get powerful black Double click. Right? So the ones that are less than the mean are negative. The ones that are above the mean are positive. This poor guy or family or whatever spent $300 more than the mean. So that's step 3. Step 4, square each number. Square of column B. So what do? Equals this. Find the little hat. That's squared. All the numbers should become positive because negative times negative is positive, and positive times positive is positive. Now to fill out the rest, we go over here until we get the powerful black cross. Double click. Filled them out. Add up the numbers. We're up to step 5, right? Add up the numbers in column C. We're going to put it over here. Equals sum. Add these up. These are squared dollars. Squared dollars don't make any sense. Divide the number in part 5 by count minus 1, or n minus 1. In this case, we're going to divide by 19. 20 is the count, minus 1 is 19. So we do equals this number divided by, put the parentheses, here's n, that's the count, minus 1, close it up, take the square root of the number in part 6. Remember the function? SQRT, square root, put this number in, click. This is the variance, right? This is the sample variance, sample variance. I bolded. And I bold this too. Oops, there we go. This is the sample standard deviation. Here, let me just bold this ahead of time. This is the sample standard deviation. The standard deviation is expressed in the same units as the original data. That's true. This number, these units are dollars, right? So in this example, the standard deviation is $112. Well, 112.9666.462 dollars, because this is spending per week on groceries. So we got them. Maybe I'll make them purple like in the other one, huh? Purple is powerful too. Now, if you don't want to do all that, it didn't take very long. We're only 9 minutes into the video, and I've been blabbering on and on, you know. If you don't want to do that, you can use these functions. This is for sample, right? Sample variance. You see the one different step? I'm going to make this yellow or something, just so you see. This is how it's different. My yellow is a little strong. What? That's the difference with the population standard deviation. That's it, right? The rest of it is all the same. 6. But that's a big difference. You're going to get a different number. So if you have a test question and it asks you to do the sample variance or sample standard deviation, you better do this. You better not do this, right? Get a different answer, it'll be wrong. That wouldn't be good. Or you could use these functions. Just remember to use the right one. For sample variance and sample standard deviation, you have to have an S on the end of the function. Whereas the last video, we had a P on the end, right? Gotta use the right one. So let's use var s and see if we get the same answer I did, or I should retire as a professor. I am getting up there in years, you know. Let's grab the data. We got to grab the original data over here. See what we get. It's the same. I can still teach on. Aren't you lucky? And let's try standard deviation. STDEV dot S for sample, right? Put the parentheses, grab the original data over here. And hooray. I'm still competent. I'm better than Microsoft Copilot at doing this stuff. I tried to get it to get the right answer. It can't even add up. Those 23 numbers we had, it can't even add them up. I'm amazed. And I asked it, how come you can't add up 23 numbers? And it didn't answer. It didn't answer. It said maybe it's time to move on. So it's temperamental, I guess. So anyway, this is a key. When you have a problem, make sure you know whether it's asking for population, variance, standard deviation like the first video we did, or sample variance and standard deviation like this one. Because if you pick the wrong one, it happens over and over and over, because people don't watch these videos. They don't listen to me blabbering on and on. They just look at the spreadsheet. They don't really know what's going on. Those lazy students, they get it wrong. You're not a lazy student, because listen to me. All right, we got one more video for Chapter 3 on weighted average. I'm looking forward to doing that one. Till then, Professor Williams is saying, have a good day.